A very good day to you. A study on passive design strategies and its application in residential buildings, case studies of BEURC and Ting's residence. I'm Irene Hui Ling from Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia is a tropical climate country with a warm and humid climate. Due to the unstable weather, various passive designs have been applied in buildings to achieve thermal comfort. Traditional Malay house is showing a good example for us to learn. The problem statement is, the high energy consumption and the unfavorable weather of Malaysia is causing the thermal comfort harder to be achieved. Therefore, my research objectives are to investigate the passive design strategies of BEURC residential building design, to compare the passive design strategies of the traditional Malay house, Wooi residence and Ting residence, and also to compare the effectiveness in achieving thermal comfort among these three buildings. In this research, there will be two case studies, which are Wooi residence and Ting residence that designed by BEURC. For methodology, qualitative data collection method is used. For example, primary data through interview with experts and secondary data through observations and literature review. Moving on to the result and findings, for daylighting strategies, traditional Malay house have less gaps on the building facade, but Wooi residence and Ting residence have more gaps to bring in more daylight into the interior of the house. All these three buildings have an east-west orientation to bring in optimum amount of nature daylight. Next, for sun shading strategies, different vegetation is planted. For example, coconut tree, bamboo plants, tower trees, and busida trees, respectively. All these three buildings have a large roof overhang for effective sun shading. For cooling strategies, all the buildings have different kinds of openings to enhance ventilation. In terms of building layout, the traditional Malay house is randomly built on land, Wooi residence is following the grid pattern, while Ting residence is following the contour of the site. Lastly, for material selection, traditional Malay house is using natural materials. For example, timber for every part of the house and atap for the roof, while Wooi residence and Ting residence are using both nature and modern materials such as timber, brick, concrete, in situ terrazzo, steel, glass, and stone. In conclusion, although Wooi residence and Ting residence are less effective in achieving thermal comfort if comparing with the traditional Malay house, but they are surely a good guide for our country's modern green residential building development. And I hope that the passive design strategies can be further advanced in the future and become a common practice when designing a building in Malaysia, as it is very important for our country's development. Lastly, here are the references, and that's all from me. Thank you.